It's interesting when people who don't know we're here for a theater project, how they respond to us.
Right.
And wonder why we're here in Pahokee.
Right, like our waitress the other day.
Like, why would you come to Pahokee? Who comes to Pahokee?
Yeah.
It's a legitimate question, and the answer is mostly sex offenders. This remote sugarcane farm town has become a safe haven for those squeezed out elsewhere due to housing restrictions or required setbacks from playgrounds and schools.
What are the long-lasting consequences of committing a sex crime in America? That's a tough story to tell, and it's a tough story to hear.
Travis Russ plans to tell that story at Life Jacket Theater, the so-called investigative theater company he founded in New York. He and creative partner Amelia Parento came here for a week in October to conduct hours of interviews. Those will be transcribed into verbatim scripts and eventually performed at their off-Broadway theater.
I sense he has a true interest in people, and I am pretty protective of the folks here.
Patty Opperly is pastor of the town's Methodist Church, which has embraced the community of recovering sex offenders. It's not always a popular view, but it has put the church in the spotlight.
There is power in a second chance, and that's what our country's made out of.
Second day, maybe the first day, I knew that there was something special here. It really is an American story, and it's about hope, faith, forgiveness, and family.
That's not the story most people associate with sex offenders. Neither is what has emerged as the play's central theme, love.
Because their story is so interesting, and we think it's going to be, a pretty special part of the whole story we're telling here.
The relationship is an ironic footnote to our original story. In that piece, Pastor Patty joked about how trusting she'd become of the former sex offenders. So much so, she gave them her house key to set up an after-church dinner.
Well, Paul and I are finishing something up here, and I don't remember what it was, and all of a sudden he looked at me and he said, "Do you realize our daughter's home alone with 11 sex offenders?" I was like, huh, okay.
As it happens, her oldest daughter, now in her 20s, is dating a sex offender.
She's dealt with the sex offenders since she's been out here. So when me and Lexi started dating, it wasn't like, oh, you're dating a sex offender. It's, okay, it's Chris. Like, yes, he's a sex offender, but we know him already.
Chris Dawson was arrested 4 years ago when he was 20 and his girlfriend, unbeknownst to him, just 14. It's what sometimes is called a Romeo and Juliet case, but Dawson is now a registered sex offender for life.
I don't want anybody dating my daughters. But they're sweet, and Chris is great and his family's great, so I told them it's okay.
Dawson has grown comfortable telling his story, both to warn others and to appeal for redemption. And he likes the idea of being portrayed on stage.
I just hope they cast a good actor for me. Find some cool hipster guy with great hair and, good body, make me like...
Others tell their story with some reluctance, like Chad Stoffel, who was jailed after an affair with one of his teenage students.
It is still hard. Like every time you see yourself, like anytime I see myself in a video or even in the mirror, I think, man, Chad, you screwed up so bad. I mean, how could you have done what you did? Like, how did you become such a failure, right?
That's complicated and compelling.
There's so much here, and I think it's going to make a really arresting piece of theater.
Doesn't this church have any stinking tissues? That's the story.
What it will look like isn't clear. Both Travis and Amelia say the hard work is just beginning as they comb through thousands of pages of transcripts. But Travis says the focus is already determined.
I can tell you that this show is about what it means to be an American, what it means to make a mistake, and what it means to ask forgiveness.